Now let's talk about some corrective exercises that can improve that deep squat pattern if we saw any problems with that upper body extension or with the ability to load the lower body with a full range of motion. First thing we want to do is, and there are a whole bunch of exercises that work for this, but we're just going to go through maybe 2, 3, or 4 of these and show some examples of exercises that are known to address any dysfunctions with the deep squat pattern. With this, I'm using it's called a Gray Cook band or FMT band, functional movement training band. From here, you're just going to hook it onto a low point. You can hook it into a door. I have it hooked onto this weight machine here. And you're going to set up with basically that same position that you set up with for the deep squat screening procedure, with your feet about shoulder width apart, toes pointed straight forward. You're going to take one end of the band in each hand, and you can also probably use a TheraBand for this as well if you can get the right setup. Now you're just going to raise your arms over top of your head. You're going to try to squat down, and then come back up. Let's talk about what that exercise is doing. Notice the band is trying to pull me forward, so I have to work extra hard to keep that upper body extension. It provides a really powerful training effect for training that upper body extension. At the same time, we still need to have good lower body mechanics. So that's one really good exercise that we can do to train that deep squat pattern, especially for those of us who have any limitations in that thoracic or upper body mobility. Another one we can do is we can take any sort of bench, we can take a stool, take a couple of weights. I just have a couple of 5-pounders here. You don't need anything especially heavy to start out with. This one's especially good for improving any limitations in ankle mobility. Before this, you might go ahead and, in some cases, do some soft tissue work. Use a stick, foam roller, kind of loosen up those ankles if those ankles have some tightness in them. But let's say after we've done that, we'll come up here to our bench and take our couple of weights. Set up, again, feet shoulder width apart, toes pointed straight ahead. You take those weights, hold them out in front of you, get a good distance from your bench. You're just going to squat down. From there, you're just going to place the weights on the bar, make sure they stand up. Then you'll stand up from there. You come back down, get those weights, then come back up. That's a really good one to train any ankle mobility limitations that you discover in the deep squat screening. Another way we can isolate the ankles is just with that screening test that we did during the actual deep squat procedure, one of the last things that we did in that previous video. So you can take that bar out in front of you, you're going to take it, really drive it into the ground as hard as you can. What this is doing is forcing your core to engage, getting some of these tight muscles especially in the hip flexors or in the quads, getting those to release, and what that'll do, give you that extra little bit of ankle range of motion and hopefully clear up any of those limitations in the lower body that we saw in the deep squat pattern.